It is for the police officer. It is for the police officer to prove that we found this money on you, and that money was gained by fraudulent and unlawful processes. It is not for Cecilia Dapa to provide any.
You mean when she's questioned, she
has no business. She has no obligation. No obligation. I'm saying that a law that makes it mandatory, that provides evidence, that we can use the evidence to prosecute you. It's an unlawful law in our country. And same side can come and sit here and we debate this. It's an unlawful law. She is under absolutely no obligation. The last time we were talking like this was under Rollins, under PNDC and AFRC. People had money in their homes and therefore they were criminals. And as I keep on saying, I'm not saying this because of Cecilia Dapa. I'm saying that it is being done to ordinary people in this country.
Yes.
And it is wrong and unlawful. It is wrong and unlawful. We do prosecution, we don't do persecution in this country. So the law as it presently carries is unconstitutional in many aspects of it. Let me give you one example. Prosecutorial powers in Ghana are found under Article 88. And it is invested in just one officer. And it is an entrenched provision. And that officer is the Attorney General.
But can delegate. Can delegate.
No, he can delegate.
Yes.
He can delegate.
Yes.
But Parliament cannot go and delegate for him. And that is all this law.
But Attorney General actually brought the special prosecutor.
Then the Attorney General was wrong.
Parliament.
The Attorney General was wrong. Then the Attorney General.
So the president was wrong in creating.
I'm saying that. I'm telling you.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Was he wrong in creating that office?
Yes.
Okay. Where have you been all this while? Why didn't you go?
I was here 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I'm saying that in the next week or 2 weeks, this act will find itself in the Supreme Court. You see, because Parliament, there are limits.
You want the court to declare the entire act as unconstitutional, including the office of the special prosecutor?
There are limits to what Parliament can do.
No, but I'm asking you, really, because if the act that created the office, you say is unconstitutional, then the office itself is unconstitutional,
exactly.
So it must be scrapped.
Exactly. I'm saying that in Ghana, okay, everybody, there's what we call equality before the law.
Yes.
If you look at the act, the act is looking at specific human beings to put them before this act and the processes of this act. I'm saying that is unconstitutional. I'm saying that Parliament does not have the right. Parliament, for instance, cannot enact a law and declare Ghana as a one-party state. Can Parliament do that?
No.
Parliament cannot do that.
Yes,
so
there are
limits to what acts of law that Parliament can pass in our country. They cannot go and an entrenched right that is given to the Attorney General. Parliament will then seize part of those rights and give it to another body. When Parliament does that, it is amending the Constitution, and there are processes to amend the Constitution in our country.
So you believe, I get what you mean. You believe that the AG per 88 can delegate.
Yes.
But
it's not
shouldn't have been done in Parliament.
Yes.
The amendments should have been done in the appropriate way. That's what you're saying. Because you're saying that this is an amendment.
Yes. What is here is an amendment.
Yes.
I'm saying that if you wanted to do an amendment,
it should have
gone under Article 290.
To do the amendment?
Yes.
Okay. So the creation of the office is wrong.
Insofar as you don't do that, then you are wrong.
Okay.
I'm saying that if you want powers of prosecution in this country, it's not Parliament you go to. You go to the Attorney General, and then the Attorney General can't cede part of those powers to you. And it is an entrenched.
It's an entrenched provision.
Yeah.
Okay.
But can the same argument hold for Iyoko? Then we should scrap Iyoko as well, because there is a Iyoko Act.
You need to look at the provision in the Iyoko Act. I've not looked at it.
Yeah, but that
was
also passed by Parliament, and then they also have prosecutorial powers.
You see, Article 88 is an entrenched provision. It is virtually written in stone. When you go under Article 289 and Article 290, it is virtually written in stone. If somebody wants to do anything about prosecutorial powers, the proper place you go to is the Attorney General.
Yeah.
You go to the Attorney General, and then the Attorney General says, I cede part of my powers to you. It does not belong to Parliament. You see, Parliament cannot give what it does not have.
Okay. So I think for Uncle Ken, the fact that if indeed he checks the Iyoko Act and realizes that that is what is happening, then
you can take that to court.
Then you can take that to court as well, because for you, 88 is an entrenched provision. And so if there's supposed to be some delegation of power, which leads to an amendment, it must be done properly.
No, I'm saying
is that not what you're saying?
I'm saying that prosecutorial powers in Ghana belong to one specific office.
Yes, the AG's.
At the AG's office.
Yes.
And that the law that says that power belongs to the AG
is an entrenched provision. Yes.
So anybody who wants to, like the police people who exercise prosecutorial powers, it's a delegation from the AG. So anybody who wants to prosecute must seek delegation from the AG. I'm saying that power to give delegation does not belong to Parliament.
So the police,
Parliament.
Hold on, let me ask for. I mean, for the purposes of education, the police getting its powers from the AG to have the prosecutorial powers, was that done through Parliament, or it was done through the normal referendum to amend?
You go to Parliament, you go to the AG to seek the mandate. So the AG gives you the mandate. That is what the police are using.
Okay.
I'm saying that Parliament cannot give what Parliament does not own.
Okay.
You see? Okay. So these are powers that belong to Sewa. My brother here cannot come and say that he's giving powers that belong to you to a third person. He must come to you. A very simple argument. Now, if he, on his own, decide that he will do it in spite of the clear fact, then he has amended the constitution.
Okay. I think Parliament created the office. So the creation of the office, an idea from the president, a bill through the Attorney General sent to Parliament. Parliament then passes the bill, and then the office is created. Now the Attorney General, who is the sponsor of the bill, then delegates his powers and says, write those powers. He himself actually wrote those powers in the bill.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Parliament cannot give what it does not own.
You have the Constitution 290 on amendment. What does it say? What's the process?
29.
No, what is the process for amendment of an entrenched provision?
It's a
long one, I know, but round it up for us.
I can give it to you to read.
So that what he's basically saying is that Parliament didn't have the right to sort of amend it as it has done, right?
Yes.
That's what you are saying. Yes. So you are going to court over that.
Yes.
Okay. We are waiting to see whether you have a lot of cases to take to court.
Yeah.
From Okai North to now the office of the special prosecutor.
Listen,
and what has happened to your John Mahama case?
When things are wrong.
Wait, I get it. What has happened to the John Mahama case?
I heard you, John and Julius, and what is the name of the lady?
Nana
Opoku-Agyeman. They should not be jumping too early.
Okay. Julius hasn't. Oh, no.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. They should not be jumping too early. As I sit here with you, I've not been served with an appearance and a response, and that is significant of something. But officially, we shall go for a search, because you see, when you are sued, you enter an appearance, and you file a response. As I sit here, I've not been served.
Okay, let's go back to the substantive issue. So, you said that you go
see,
to
it's under Chapter 8.
Yes.
And that whole Chapter 8 thing, under Article 289, under Article 290, Article 291F, it's an entrenched provision. But see, this Article 291, this article applies to the amendment of the following provisions of this Constitution, which are in this Constitution referred to as entrenched provisions. And one of them, 1F, is Chapter 8, which is the executive, where you find the Attorney General. Now, 292, a bill for the amendment of an entrenched provision shall, before Parliament, it's a long read. I can give it to you to read. You see, it goes through many, very convoluted processes.
Yeah.
It reaches a place where Ghanaians must vote. A certain percentage of Ghanaians must vote. I think 75%.
Yeah.
And out of that, at least 40%. A lot of things. That is not the process used to amend Chapter 8 and to give prosecutorial powers to the Office of Special Prosecutor. And as you are raising, to to Yoko and other people. I think that our people in Parliament, when laws come before them, it is very necessary, because you see, when you look at this act, many places, I was talking about public finances. When there's an act of Parliament and that act creates an office, that office is supposed to be audited by the Auditor General. After the audit, that thing goes to your committee, the Public Accounts Committee. The Special Prosecutor Act alone, it is different.
Okay, so
do you know that the Special Prosecutor is said in there that is not amenable to anybody? He's independent of anybody.
But isn't every
single act office created by an act of Parliament is under the executive. You cannot sit there and say it's independent, like my Tanamidu was saying.
And I see. And the point I was making, that's what Niha said. So listen, it says, what's Ken saying? Okay, Niyama.
Okay.
Yeah, Niyama. It says, the OSP Act was promulgated by the AG through a bill, just as I said. It was the AG that drafted the act and brought it to Parliament. So once again, the sponsor of the bill was the Attorney General. Article 88 that gives power to AG to prosecute criminal matters can delegate his powers, as we have said. Hence, the police, Yoko, and the OSP have the powers to prosecute in court, because the AG has decided to cede part of those prosecutorial powers to these bodies.
Do you know what is called rationalization?
Please, finish.
So a power given to them by AG through Parliament. So yes, Parliament only comes in because the power was given to these bodies by the AG through Parliament. You get it? So if you have an axe to grind with the AG and not Parliament, because the bill came from the AG. You get the point I'm making?
Okay.
You have spoken.
Yes. But
what you have done is called rationalization. Rationalization. Every act of Parliament, every act that comes out of Parliament has input processes.
Yes.
Are you aware of that?
Oh, yes.
It goes into Parliament, then Parliament blends it and comes out with a composite that then turns into a bill that is sent to the President to enact into law. So what comes out of Parliament is the position of Parliament. So Parliament itself should be mindful as to what it can do and what it cannot do.
Okay.
So Niyama's rationalization.
Okay,
I'm afraid when we are doing palm wine, you can tell.
Let me read to you what Justice Stremsai sent. He said that you say that the positions in the affidavit are wrong because they are not evidence. And he's saying that is misleading, because a person can depose to matters of which he has 1, knowledge, 2, beliefs, or 3, information. And at law, the affidavit and everything deposed in it is evidence. And unless the opponents deposed an affidavit to deny them, everything in the affidavit is treated as truth and accepted as evidence. I am not a lawyer, let me just say. So that is what he's saying.
I'm saying that in affidavits we depose to facts. That is why he's saying that, to my knowledge, this is a fact. To my knowledge, this is a fact. I'm saying that
affidavit I read to you, that this is the information that I have, because I have conducted investigation.
Yes.
Even though investigation is still ongoing, this is what we know.
I have conducted investigation.
But why is it that I don't know if the comparison I'm about to make it makes sense or it works, but when you are a lawyer, when someone is reported to the police, the judge has an option to either grant them bail, even though bail is required for all crimes, but to either grant them bail or withhold the bail because they may suspect that they may not come back for one reason or the other, or they may impede the investigation process. There's that, right? There's that. So if the special prosecutor, the office of the special prosecutor says, we are seizing this money because we don't want it concealed in the process of our investigation, is that not enough information that the special prosecutor has?
I'm saying that the fact that I have 100 million cedis on me does not mean that I got it wrongfully.
Exactly.
That is what they are trying to establish.
Can I conclude?
Yes.
So for you to go to a court of law to say that money should be seized or frozen or whatever, you must offer prima facie. You must offer some degree of evidence that demonstrates that Ken has 100 million cedis on him, and it was not properly, it's not proper money. his money laundering, his whatever, you must offer proper prima facie. That's nine.
If the explanation, what I read in the affidavit doesn't sit for you, then we can move on. It says that they have done investigations, and they suspect that these money stashed.
Yeah. But you see, you when you go down that same line, they refer to the case of the maid servants.
Yes.
Is that also? Yes. Is that the investigation they've conducted?
Well, that is not just it.
If it is not it,
well, I
then
don't
it should be included in that affidavit.
They also talk about the inconsistencies that Sister Rapa has.
No, I'm saying that.
They are all part of it.
I'm saying that before you go to court, to say that IB's money should be frozen, you must offer prima facie. So far, as to the conduct of a crime.
Okay.
But this is not convincing to you, because they talk about the fact that they've gone to uncover money, right, in her house. There are stories that they believe do not add up about the source of the $800,000, right? In fact, there is some extra $200,000 that the ownership is undisclosed from investigations relative to the theft. All that is not convincing to you for the court to say that let's freeze the account, go in there, right, conduct investigation. Because for instance, let's assume, without admitting, that there's ill-gotten money and you don't freeze the account. By the time, because we've been here before, ABAJ, the Manasseh's investigation against the contract for sale, right, the account was frozen. When the account was being frozen, there was money in there. But by the time they went back to take stock, the money had disappeared. So that was even the one that court granted the request for the account to be frozen. Now back to Cecilia. Let's assume that the money is ill-gotten. The account is not frozen. After the time the OSP is done with this investigation, they go into the account and there's nothing in there.
Centuries ago, we developed the principle of innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
Let me. So that assumption that let us assume, it is a very wrong way to approach any question. Very wrong, philosophically, lawfully wrong. You don't approach a question of law like that. Let's assume he is guilty. Let's assume. Is that
what you get from the affidavit?
No. I'm reacting to him. That is what he's saying. That let us assume the money. Secondly, you see, my little exposure.
Even if the money was not ill-gotten and it is legit money, but investigations need to be conducted into the source of getting that money. Are you still going to stand by we assuming that she is guilty even before we investigate?
You see, you have no business assuming that the fact that I found money on Sewa means the money was ill-gotten. You have no business thinking like that. It is for the state, the investigative powers, to provide evidence, prima facie, that this money is possibly stolen. You can provide it 60-70%. Every judge will be convinced. Put something on the money. But you don't go to court with opinions as sworn to by that person. Now, in reaction to you, the second thing is that, you see, one, everybody is presumed
innocent
to be innocent.
Yes.
And the fact that I have money on me gives you no right.
Yes, to suspect that I got it illegally.
Yes.
But if there's a reason, there's theft. Okay, why are we here? We are here because a group of households decided
we are here because somebody said her money was stolen.
Exactly. That's why we are here.
Yes.
Good. And in investigating,
who is investigating?
Of course, the state. The state is investigating and prosecuting those who stole the past money.
Yes.
But there's a bigger picture about how a government official will keep $1 million at home.
I think we should not be.
We need to satisfy.
You don't think that
we should not be going back and forth.
We are not.
We should not be going. In Ghana, there is what we call equality before the law.
Okay, but
you see,
let me ask you something. You want to go to Parliament, assuming that you win to be MP today. We know how much you're going to be earning.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. If tomorrow you are MP, 2 years down the line, we find $5 million in your house.
Yeah.
You don't think that we have to question you on how you got that money when we know this is the job that you do and this is how much you earn every month? You don't think that we need to question that?
I'm not a religious person, but I find great joy that this question has been posed to me by you. We have sat in this studio, you and I, and fortunately him, where I have demonstrated means of making millions of money.
So do you have millions now?
Was it not in this studio?
Yes.
You spoke about the cassava.
Yeah, but the time we talked about the cassava,
who knows
you told us how much. You told us how you are struggling with it.
Yes,
so do you have millions now?
Do you know that? Okay, that is Nutrifax. Do you know that I speak to you? I'm just about to launch a product on the market similar to Lipton. So you see, when you come.
Then you tell us that this is where you got the money.
No. You have no business asking me that. You have no. Just a moment.
Okay,
just a moment.
How do we fight corruption?
Can I?
What this principle? No, I just want to find out. So help us fight corruption in this country. How do you go about it?
Do you know what Ken is doing? He is trying to prepare our minds that in the future he's capable of stashing $10 million in his house. So if we come and see $10 million, he got it from the plantain cake and the bread. We have heard you. Let's move on.
Just don't go on like that.
Let's move. No. Let's move on.
This is your show.
Yeah, but I have to go. I have to move on. So quickly wrap up.
This is a very unfortunate statement that you have made.
Oh, it was just by the way, but I mean,
some people might take it.
Oh no, I don't think you will do that.
How to fight
even though you
how do we fight corruption?
How to fight corruption is to strengthen the available institutions,
including OSP.
That one is not an institution.
It's what? Oh, you say it's a
that one,
void ab initio.
That one, there's an animal, a fictional animal called the kraken.
That's what it is.
Google it. It's a kraken.
Okay.
The Office of Special Prosecutor Act is a kraken because you see, you cannot fit it into the 1992 Constitution. It's an anathema. This law, I think it is Article 55 or 54 or so. Every single office created by an act of parliament in this country is under the authority, the executive authority of the President of Ghana. The Special Prosecutor Act assumes to itself that is not under the authority of the President of Ghana. And in fact, the former Special Prosecutor claimed that privilege, that the President cannot direct him. Yeah. There is no single act of parliament that can arrogate itself the authority that do not fall under the executive authority of this country.
Okay.
But if the President is allowed to direct corruption investigating institutions, then we are dead. Then we are dead. We only fight corruption.
I'm saying that you and I,
about what is right.
Where we are sitting here this morning, GH Media, GH1. If we decide to take it upon ourselves that we would work impartially, whether it is NDC or MPP, and ensure that the fight against corruption goes on, do you know what we can achieve? In this country, it was done by an institution called Chronicle. You remember? The Chronicle newspaper. I think in those days you guys were young.
I definitely.
Yes, they arrogated to themselves the power to fight corruption, and they did incredible work. That is where
doing what media can do. But at the end of the day,
that is where
engage in corruption,
people like Ramonacha, Chronicle, Raymond come from that breed.
Yeah.
This boy who was Alfred Ogbami, yes, all those guys. Kofi Kumsin trained guys. Yeah. So just this media house, if we take it upon ourselves, Daily Searchlight, we can fight corruption. What we need in this country is for institutions that already exist, police officers, to decide that they will do their job professionally and not look over themselves to see whether Ken Kranchi is looking.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So for you, if the police or the AG's office was conducting this investigation, you wouldn't have had a problem with it?
If it was conducting the prosecution, no problem.
But you have a problem with the
freezer account.
Even if they were freezing the account,
no.
That you have a problem.
There are limits to what the police can do.
Okay, but so you have a problem with the special prosecutor because the creation of the office itself is wrong.
It's unconstitutional.
All right. Okay, thank you. Very much. I think that you really need to test it. I want to know.
We all want to know.
We all want to know. Unfortunately, we have exhausted all of the time discussing Cecilia Dakar. It's been educative as well. So thank you, Ken. Ken Kranchi is the Are you still managing Daily Searchlight?
Yes. I'm still managing. That is my company.
Yeah.
That is your company.
If it makes money in the future, don't complain.
Yeah.
If you see some of these things, when you want to buy a newspaper and you are treasury, you can go to a website called GhanaNewsstand.com.
Okay.
And buy a newspaper from there. It's my initiative.
Okay.
And it means that from this announcement, 1 million people can decide to just click on
and
that. Put 1 million cedis in my account.
In your account.
You see,
to be in your account, it will be home.
It is not your right to come and ask me that.
To be in your account, you won't go and stash it at home.
I bet it's my money.
Wherever you decide to keep it. We have to go.
I was going to give you an example.
Okay.
I did a job for the European Union.
Okay.
And they paid the money into a bank account. I went and took my money.
How much was it?
I took it into my home.
How much was it?
It was in pound sterling.
How much?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Like 100,000 pounds.
I took all of it into
my. Like 100,000
pounds. But the GRA was away because it came through the banking system. So if you have taxes to pay,
so you see, once it is yours. Once it is yours.
How much was the money?
Once it is yours, you can. Once it is yours, you have the right to go and take it and keep it.
All right.
Let us not criminalize people because they have money.
Okay.
Let us encourage these people we have quoted with state authority.
Okay.
To do responsible things by providing prima facie and not swearing to that embarrassment of an affiliate.
But we shouldn't question the people who have gotten monies that we don't expect them to get.
What is expectation?
Okay.
What is expectation?
It's okay. Let's end it here. Go and test the law.
You don't go to court with opinions of your expectations.
It's the beautiful thing is we are going to court.
The beautiful thing is that the beautiful thing is that
they are waiting for the hearing of the freezing of the account, right?
The beautiful thing is that you are studying to become a lawyer.
Yes.
And so I hope that when you become a lawyer, you don't go to court with expectations. Go with facts.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is the producer for GHToday. He is the correspondent in Parliament for the EIB Network and the organizing secretary of the Parliamentary Press Corps. And Ken Kranchi here is the manager for the Daily Searchlight newspaper and an Okaikwe North NPP parliamentary aspirant hopeful. All the best once again. And he has a chain of businesses. He produces plantain bread, cassava bread, or what else?
A lot of innovation.
Look to come. Soon to come. An alternative
it's called Dimati. It's currently under processes at Mampong, and we hope that we can use it to fight diabetes and hypertension.
Okay.
And do you know how many people suffer from that?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just to let you know that COA FS is looking for distributors for its product. So if you're interested, go on our social media pages. We have a lot of information about COA Research Center there. They are producers of the COA mixture and they're looking for distributors. So hospitals and pharmaceutical stores that are interested in stocking these products can contact them and they will sort you out. Thank you for watching this segment. After the break, I have a conversation with a lady with a beautiful voice. She's called Abiana. We'll be back with more.
Lady Marathon and Brother Swole. Betubri Kamiam Bonjoso. Ghana Fonia Manonifo Yina Kahobi. Ye Shasia Every Ministries Police Station near River Mwakopia Independence Square. Now winner no budget 75,000 Ghana cedis. Will be a Betubi and Fahu and Fia Wedi. Enti for phone say ya na register. Dial it. Start.